Live at 4. Let's look at the store. I'm actually going to do a proper offer review in today's video because there's some chain offers. Big shout out to Winston Wolf, who I don't know if he bought them all or got them all, but we can take a look at all of them. Before we do that, I want to go over a topic that I discussed at length with Juicy on Juicy's channel about the compression of getting into Grandmaster and this affecting Cosmic Crucible rewards that pay out on a weekly basis. So something is wrong, in my opinion, with the way that Scopely is doing it right now. And this has nothing to do with matchmaking, and this has nothing to do with end of season rewards, because matchmaking is just based on I'm at 300 or 1,000 or whatever, and I'm just paired up with people, and you go up and down, and it's not based off of ELO. End of season rewards are based off of what number you placed. If you were in the top 200, you were in the top 1%, whatever. What is being affected is the amount that we get paid out on a weekly basis that is based whether or not you're in gold, platinum, masters, whatever. And it doesn't seem like this system is working correctly, because the number of players right now in Grandmaster is like 11. And in other seasons, that number was like 150. And what that means to everyone is less rewards. And I just wanted to bring this up because getting one diamond orb or being like 300-ish, in the world on Cosmic Crucible because of where I place seems weird and it seems wrong. I wanted to talk quickly about Iron Patriot. I did Skirmisher. I know that there's a case to be made for Raider and also for Striker, but I'm going to make a case for why Skirmisher. One is on spawn, apply vulnerables to all enemies up to a maximum 5, cannot be blocked or dodged. It can, however, be resisted. And we discovered that on, I believe it was on Cloak and Dagger, that when a character applies vulnerable outside of their ISO mechanic, like Skirmisher is fine, that gets applied. Raider, when they crit, gets applied. But we're talking about abilities or parts of their kits that apply vulnerables, like right here in Iron Patriot's passive. It does do a focus resistance check. And so I think having higher focus is good. And there's going to be a 3-piece of Cabal, which is going to be the 3 members of Cabal. And then we're going to intermix the other 2. And I suspect a lot of times it's going to be characters like King and Apocalypse, and we're gonna let them be the strikers, and we're gonna let the Cabal leader, Iron Patriot, Namor be raiders or skirmishers. Other thing too, I don't know if I really want to soak up all of the vulnerables, because the damage on leader's kit ramps up the crit damage based on how many charges, and then also right here, enemies with vulnerables take an additional 10% damage per vulnerable up to a maximum of 30. So Striker removes vulnerables, and depending if you have like level 5, you're taking away more, right? Well, that's actually getting rid of this damage boost right here. And then in Crucible, and this is going to be vital for certain matchups, if this character is 2 or more Cabal allies, however you say it, Cabal Cable, enemy characters vulnerable cannot fill speed bar for themselves or allies. This does not apply speed bar gain through normal means, meaning they can gain turn meter. Well, I absolutely want that to happen, and I don't want the vulnerable stripped away and then not being able to use that mechanic. Leader also has a mechanic preventing safeguards. So I'm going to start off with Skirmisher. I do think there's a case for Raider. I do think there's a case for Striker, and I think there's a lot of opinions on this, but for me right now on Iron Patriot, I'm going to start with Skirmisher. Also right now they have 3x gear explosion, but it's only for tech gear. Also right now, I just want to bring this up. This was not, I guess, clear in my last video. So there's this BFYB make good offers, and there's depending on whether or not you were able to take advantage of the initial bugged offers or not, determines how many of this. But for a lot of players, they're going to have a total of 75 of these. And the question has come up numerous times. What if you buy these offers with Ultra Cores? Because there was a special post that came out on Friday saying that anybody that buys these 2 offers will get dollar for dollar Ultra Cores credited to their account sometime mid next week. So if you have Ultra Cores sitting in your account, you can buy these, get all this stuff that's in these offers and then be credited the Ultra Cores core for core. You know, if you spend 750 Ultra Cores to buy these offers, you will get those 750 Ultra Cores back sometimes next week. And I'm going to suggest that if you're a spender in Marvel Strike Force, this is the closest thing to a no-brainer that exists. Somebody asked me earlier today if they thought we were going to get another Marvel Strike Force exclusive character, and I said absolutely. I'm very sure that this is going to continue to be a thing. Right now we have 4. And then someone also said, well, why doesn't Marvel use some of these Marvel Strike Force exclusive characters like Kestrel or Deathpool in comics or in the MCU? Well, there is a precedent for that. Captain Carter was a Marvel Puzzle Quest exclusive created for that game in 2016. Not only has that become a what if episode, that we also have Captain Carter today in Marvel Strike Force. So I think that would be pretty cool if, you know, one of the Marvel Strike Force exclusively created characters, which is Vol, Weaver, Kestrel, and Deathpool, if they actually got used in other parts, either in comics or in movies and things like that, that would be pretty cool. It's within reason. It happened for Captain Carter and Marvel Puzzle Quest. Also, suggestions, sort roster by release date. And I think this is a pretty interesting and good suggestion because in general, if a character is not reworked, in order of release from, you know, how old the character is until now is a good benchmark to whether or not the character is good or bad. Reworks, of course, are the exception to the rule. Is Sinister Six good? Yes! Yes. I feel like right now, I mean, let's just talk about raid teams in specific. I feel like, and teams that are worth upgrading, I feel like Sinister Six is an amazing team, specifically Vulture and Mysterio. Then, of course, if you can get your hands on the Superior Six, you know, the Green Goblin Classic is the legendary, the best, and Doc Ock's a legendary as well. But, you know, a lot of people have been asking questions about, like, Hive Mind and who do I upgrade for raids? And I'll just spit out what I'm doing. I have no problem taking Hive Mind as high as possible. I have no problem taking Extreme X-Men as high as possible. They're vital and needed for raids, and they're insanely useful in not only Cosmic Crucible at Alliance War. Like, I have no problem suggesting people to take Hive Mind to the moon, taking Extreme X-Men to the moon, especially the key members on the team, which would be Void Knight on Hive Mind, and then on Extreme X-Men, that's going to be Gambit and Nightcrawler. Now, when it comes to Pegasus, some people are more enthusiastic about Pegasus than I am. I personally am upgrading my Pegasus as high as I need to get through the current amount of raids and not more. The character that I'm the most interested on that team in upgrading for use outside of raids is going to be Kestrel. And I have the same opinion on, and I guess for a lesser extent, maybe Rescue, or maybe Iron Man Infinity War. But yeah, but mostly Pegasus just about Kestrel. And when it comes to Bifrost, you know, I get use of Vol outside of raids in other game modes. And sometimes I get use out of Beta Raid Bill outside of it. Like, I'm only upgrading my Pegasus and my Bifrost as high as necessary to get through the raids, and I'm not upgrading them any more than the difficulty that my alliance is going through. Invaders. Oh my god, invaders are trash. Don't upgrade them. Like, if you have to ask, should I upgrade my invaders? Don't. The edge case people that are upgrading their invaders today are crazy people like myself in alliances that want to 100%, which I'm all for. But I know that every piece of resource and gold and training materials that I put into invaders is a complete waste. And if we go off of the past order of releases for raid teams, I'm expecting that we're going to get a replacement for the invaders. And then, you know, I don't know when that is, but then sometime after that, probably Bifrost will get replaced. And then sometime after that, probably Pegasus will get released. But anyways, moral of the story is Extreme X-Men good, Hive Mind good, Invaders bad. Pegasus, Bifrost, do what you got to do. All right. Dark Dimension 5. All right. So here's the thing. A lot of people have been asking for suggestions in Dark Dimension 5 and Dark Dimension 4. And I'm going to say that largely the suggestions provided by various community members, like here's a video right here. I'll put a link to this in the description for DD6, are going to be the same suggestions that make sense for Dark Dimension 5 and 4. And I'm also going to predict that there are going to be a ton of Dark Dimension 7 suggestion videos coming up in the next month or so. And if you watch those Dark Dimension 7 videos, you're going to get suggestions on what is good for Dark Dimension 5 and 4. I feel like the Dark Dimension advice carries down to the other Dark Dimensions. Then debate on the strongest hive mind character overall, and its course is going to be Void Knight. And then I feel like it kind of there's a lot of different opinions, but I think the main thing is Void Knight, Void Knight, Void Knight on hive mind. And there's some other thoughts too. Why is Kestrel still in orbs? And I don't know. Now, they changed the unlock requirements for Dark Dimension 1 recently. A lot of people were doing Dark Dimension 2 before 1, and that was because the way it was is that Dark Dimension 1, which is now Kestrel's the reward for Dark Dimension 1, that's a new thing also. Dark Dimension 1 was 6 yellow stars, and Dark Dimension 2 was Gear Tier 13. Well, they changed Dark Dimension 1 to be Gear Tier 12, so there's no reason to do 2 in front of 1. Do 1 first, and you'll get, if you play it twice, you'll get a maxed out 7 yellow Kestrel. So why is Kestrel in the orbs? Scopely, why is Kestrel still in the orbs? We don't need it. Scopely, make the game a little bit more fair, please. Level up rewards for normal and boosted accounts, and then there's a screenshot right here that shows the difference between the two. And I just want to say, I understand that Scopely wants to make the new player experience better, and they're doing some sort of testing and probably a lot of testing, probably more than just XP boosting, because that's been the problem that most people are talking about right now, XP boosting. And I suspect that they've been doing ABCDEFG testing, and they're trying to maximize the new player experience so that new players can come to the game and they're not getting to level 100 in a week. They're also not getting to level 100 in 2 years. They're trying to fine tune what is the correct speed for someone that's never played Marvel Strike Force, never played Galaxy of Heroes, to have a fun experience growing through the game and still understanding what's going on. And I think that's admirable for them to collect data on that to find out exactly what that is. However, why couldn't they isolate these groups of people and put them on their own arena shards and kind of keep them in their own Crucible brackets, so that way, you know, people are not resentful at Scopely because they started the game at this time and their cousin started the game at the same time as them, and their cousin's way ahead. It's just not fair. I feel like they could have done it differently and did a better job preserving the competitive integrity of the game, whatever that means. Holy moly. I don't know. I feel like they used to not care about that, the competitive integrity of the game, but I do feel like they are doing a better job at preserving that, or at least they appear to care in some level. I don't know if they're doing a good job at preserving it, but in the sense of preserving the competitive integrity of the game, this A/B testing and the boosted accounts is a nightmare. Personally, I will be starting a new player account when they get all that tuning done. I'd love to play the game after it's been optimized, and I believe that should happen, and I will be making a new account when I get some sort of feeling or I hear a rumor that it has the optimization is done, but I don't know what that is. All right, we're a Striker Weaver package right here for 99 cents. Let me switch to the other side of the screen. Some people are buying this just for the uniques, and then I feel like a lot of people need training materials, and I personally get excited about, let's say if I can buy 2,000 training materials for $20 or 1,000 for $10. So this is not quite that close, but I am in desperate need of these. This is not really a meaningful amount because you need 1.8 million to go from Blue ISO 4 to Blue ISO 5. Blue ISO 3 to 4 needs what? Not quite 800,000, somewhere in the neighborhood of 800,000 of these. So I just like, if you're desperate for training materials, there's that. I thought this was interesting. I do like the Hive Mind. Right now, they just made basically the 3 new members of the Superior 6 farmable, and probably in the next, say, 3 to 4 weeks that'll happen to stream X-Men, and then 3 to 4 weeks after that will be these Hive Mind. So I'm not sensing that Hive Mind is going to be free to play farmable for probably 6 weeks to a month. I don't know the exact date. So if you're looking for a way of purchasing them, you get 500. This would be a better deal if this was like 2,000, but then you've got the 3 members that are not Carnage and Venom, right? And then we've also got another offer right here. Like for me right now, I've made the decision and I'm sticking to it because I'm getting an abundance of gold promotion credits that I'm converting 100% of my Elite 7s into silver promotion credits. So you only get 5. So it takes 10 of these to basically take a single character from 7 red to 1 diamond. But anyways, these are super scarce, plus the cost to take Super Scroll from 6 red to 7 red is like 10,000 of these. I mean, I could just use as many dark promotion credits, and then there's some training material orbs. Now I got to give a shout out to Winston Wolf, who basically, this was a step offer where if you buy the first offer, you get the second, so on and so on. So we're just going to go and thank you for doing this and providing this, Winston Wolf. The first offer was $5. You get 10 Red Goblin, you get 200. So this is almost in alignment with that other offer. Typically, what I'm looking for is to get 500 of these for $10. So this is a little bit under that. I don't see a lot of value in basic red stars, and 10 Red Goblin is whatever. Then we've got right here the next offer. So if you buy the first one, you get the second offer, $10, where you get 300 training materials. This is a Mega Orb, which I actually kind of like Mega Orbs. But this right here is an alignment. Typically, Scopely is trying to sell 100 T4s for $10. And so some people will buy that. So you're getting, in addition to the T4s, so some people buy this just for the T4s. You'll get the Mega Orb and the training materials. Then the next offer, so you have to buy the second offer to get the third offer. This one here is $20, and you get gold, and then you get 2 Elite 7s. This is not of high interest to me because I'm finding that I have an abundance of gold. Where people are spending a lot of gold today is, like training material seems to cap my character progression. I'm at level 99. Eventually I'm going to be going to 100. I want to get my characters 100 because it's a pretty big stat boost. And that's pretty much capped by my training materials. And I feel like I have an excessive amount of gold. However, people that are buying red gear for Dark Dimension 7 are spending tons of gold. It's almost somewhere between, it's over 90 million gold if you buy every piece needed to take a single character to Gear 1019. Think on that for a second. Over 90 million gold if you just buy the Gear Tier 19 pieces out of the gold supply store. All right, I don't really need gold. I'm being a little more selective. I actually am waiting for the Dark Dimension 7 planner before I really dig deep into what pieces I need to buy. And I'm sure that's going to be based off the number of mystics I try to take into Dark Dimension 7. I'm looking at Vulture, though. I'm just saying, I'm looking at Vulture. Vulture looks attractive. The next one right here, Green Goblin Classic Orbs. So this is not of high interest to me, but this has got some legendaries. And then from here, it just kind of gets not super interest to me. But if it's interesting to you, then at least you know, and then you can make your own decision. This is okay with training materials, but I've got to buy these other offers, right? I mean, it's starting to add up, $5, $10, $20, $20, $20. And then the last offer is $50, and that's what it is. And then lastly, we've got a Void Knight. I'm a big fan of Void Knight. I feel like the 3 best characters in the game right now are Super Scroll, Apocalypse, and Black Knight, but there are 2 characters that are super versatile, and I'm getting use out of them in all 4 game modes that I care about, which is going to be Arena, Raids, Crucible, and War, and I like them in that order. It's a specific order. Void Knight and Nightcrawler are useful in all 4 game modes. I'm a big fan of Void Knight. So there you go. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming. Bye for now.